Guys, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of the power of open trips, and this video is just a continuation of the last video. So the last video, sorry it was so long. I also noticed that the volume didn't pan out the way I wanted it to, so that's something that has to get fixed. And I didn't like that it was too long, so hopefully I will make this a lot more shorter. The whole point of the video was to start off a series to showcase the various different problems different formations can present a defense. And the good thing about understanding those problems is you can optimize that offensive formation better, knowing where you can attack different players. And on the flip side of that coin, because you know all of the different challenges that a formation like open trips can present, you can defend against it better. Because this video here, I mean, I'm showcasing a game in which I played a guy where he pretty much stayed in this formation the entire game. And it's probably pretty obvious because, you know, he abuses the formation. And he probably doesn't know why it's so good. He just, whenever he uses it, he just, you know, he gets positive games and etc. So we have to learn how to defend it. So in the last video, if you didn't come to terms or understand what the reason for that video was, it really showcased that whenever you're in a double high safety defense against open trips, you really put your Mike linebacker in a conflict. He's in a run pass conflict, and that's the player that an offense can decide to attack over and over again whenever they're in this formation. Is because he is responsible for a particular gap in the run fit, but he's also responsible for relating to the number 3 receiver. 1, 2, 3. So at the snap of the ball, you know, with RPOs so heavy in the game, you know, if we decide to snap the ball, we can key the number 3 receiver. I mean, the Mike linebacker. And if he decides to overplay to his pass responsibility, we can hand it off, and now we are lost one in the run fits because he can't really defend his gap adequately, right? However, if we snap the ball and he decides to overplay to his run fit responsibility, well, now, you know, that's where the RPO, stick, and all that type of stuff we can just throw to the number 3 because he's not walled off by that player, and etc. So what we found in the last video was one of the simple things we can do as a defense is to just switch to an underfront, right? So this is just an example. Let's say this is the Mike, and it's not. You know, I'm just giving an example here. And let's say he's responsible for this gap, and the number 3 is like over here, right? That's a problem because he's got to defend the run here in this gap, but if it's a pass, he's got to turn the other way and relate to the number 3, right? So we can just attack that player over and over again as an offense. However, if we were to switch the run fits around and shift the defensive line to an underfront, to where now the defensive line is responsible for that gap, and now we shift the Mike linebacker's run fit responsibility a gap over, right? Now he has less of a path to defend in regards to, you know, if it's a pass or if it's a run. His run pass conflict path is shortened as opposed to now being from over here to over here, right? So that's where we can help out that player just by something as simple as switching to an underfront. And I learned this from matchquarters.com. That website is pretty brilliant. And those were the articles that I was reading on how to defend trips, because that's one of the main things defensive coordinators, you know, I guess talk about when they get into clinics. Like, how do you defend trips is one of the main things, because open trips present a lot of problems with the spacing, okay? So that's one thing, switching to an underfront. Now, the second thing, which is what this video is about, is, okay, what's another thing you can do to better defend open trips? So I want to ask you a question. It comes down to this one question. You could probably figure it out yourself once you answer this. 1, 2. He's a potential 4 if he swings over a strong side here. If I were to ask you, because I'm pretty sure you've run into this formation a million times while playing Madden over the years. If I were to ask you, which one of these offensive receiving threats gets the ball the absolute least whenever this formation is ran, which one would you say it is? Okay. And if your answer is this guy here, then you're absolutely correct. And this isn't just Madden, this is actually kind of real life too. This player, while in open trips, gets the ball the least, and if I recall correctly, I think it's not even close, right? Now, why is that? Well, I mean, the shortest path between 2 points is a straight line. You notice this guy is the furthest away from the ball as opposed to everyone else. Generally, when players pick this particular formation, they work inside, right? Think about the different plays you run across. Those crossing patterns, or they go slants, drags, and all that type of stuff. Typically, they almost never go to this player, right? It's just a numbers and probability thing because of how far away he is from the quarterback, right? So with that in mind, why not select a defense in which you really don't offer help on this side of the field with this player, because the help really isn't that much needed per se, right? He has the sideline he can use as his help, right? And he also has probability and numbers on his side that the ball is just not going to go there. And any ball thrown over here, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard throws to make, right? Think about the deep comeback on the side, deep out, an out pattern, deep go. I mean, all of those throws are pretty big boy throws, right? And generally, offenses want to pick the path of least resistance, right? So why would you go cover two zone here, where you have a deep half safety who can help out on this player over here? I don't see the point in doing that. Even two man. If you're gonna play two man, why not tell this safety, you almost just cut this entire side off. Act like it's just not even here. So why even play more of a deep half per se? You can really just cut that side of the field off and play more inside to help out these players here, right? So what defense do I generally pick with that knowledge in mind, knowing that this player almost never gets the ball? And the defense that I love to pick against this formation is the palms. Cover four palms, or what they call two read. So in cover four man match, you can go watch my videos on that. If you have a hard time envisioning how the defense plays against it, I generally think about the bubble. The bubble is where you get your 3-on-2 defensive advantage when playing man match. Cover four man match, the bubble is different from where it is when playing cover four palms. In cover four palms against open trips, the bubble is here. That's our 3-on-2 deal. This player is man-to-man, locked on this guy everywhere he goes, right? So the way I see it, these players don't exist. It helps you see the field a little bit better when playing defense against this formation. Okay? This player here will take the number 2 if he goes out. So let's X them out. Okay? So the deal here is, if this player goes up the field vertical, this player will help on that route or take that route. Okay? And you can get a double team here with these two players. However, if this tight end goes inside on like a drag or slant or whatever, this player here is responsible for cutting and taking that route inside. So right away, you can kind of see the problem there, but we're going to alleviate that issue in a little bit, right? But right away, you can see the problem. There's no way this player is going to be able to defend an inside route by this guy being this far off, and he looks as if he's almost aligned outside too. He's giving away the leverage inside. And you can check it out in the practice field. Go, snap the ball with a slant by this guy against cover four palms. This guy, by the time this tight end is like here, is when he like realizes, oh, I have to defend that player. Like, the coding of the game is dog shit along with the alignment. So it's just like he gets wide open. So how do we fix that? I'll show you in a bit. In cover four palms, 1, 2, 3. The safety is reading 3 to 2, and this player here, the corner, is also reading 3 to 2. If number 3 runs an out route, if the number 3 goes out underneath linebacker depth, then this player will jump that route and play him man to man because he's reading 3 to 2. However, if this safety, not if, this safety is also reading 3 to 2. So if he does go out, then he knows that this player will take the number 3 and the safety will just buzz over and take the verticality of number 2, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind when playing this palms check. This player here gets he's awarded a lot of freedom. He wants to disrupt this player's release at the line of scrimmage. You almost want to reroute him to the outside, not inside, to help out your safety over the top if he takes a vertical route. Okay. And then in that instance, if he were to take an out, you don't have to take him out because you know that this player has him out leveraged on that route and he's going to take that route. And then you can basically play, a curl hook type of deal with this player, right? So first and foremost, I played against a player that played open trips the entire game, and we're going to see what I did. So obviously we know, number one, we switched to an under front to alleviate some of the run conflict issues of our Mike linebacker. And we play cover 4 palms. It's one of the, matter of fact, it's pretty much the main defense I play against this formation. And as you see, I take my safety and I bring him way inside around this area here. That helps alleviate if this player goes on a slant or a drag, we're in prime position to overtake that route and take that route away because we're responsible if he runs inside underneath. Now you may think, well, what if he goes up the field? Well, that's what this player is for. If he takes a vertical route upfield, this corner will take that route, right? And then that leaves us as the safety freedom when he doesn't go inside because we don't have a route to take. We can look to double team that tight end going up the field or look to help out on any crossers coming across the field. So we switch to our under front. I believe he's responsible for this gap. And then he's in, he's got to relate to the number 3. But as the safety inside, we also help out on any strong side runs. So this is, to me, the prime defense to play against this stuff. So as you see, I know my responsibility. You saw how I'm the safety and I saw the tight end coming across. That is my responsibility. So I take that route.
He'll dump this off to Akers. 3 yards the gain there. Backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people.
Trey wide flex.
They were right there waiting, and they stopped him.
Shift to an under front.
For a minimal gain.
Bring the safety over. Oh, okay, so one more thing. Who do we use there when we do this? So I haven't played Madden in a long time, so I've still been fumbling around with, who should I use there while playing this defense. I found the optimal player to play when playing this defense is this player right here. Okay, so you'll see me fumbling around, figuring out what I need to do. I think I picked this player on this one, and I know my responsibilities. If this guy goes upfield, I have to take him. But again, knowing your responsibilities, if he goes inside, I know I don't have to run with that, and now I can buzz and play, more in the middle of the field and look to cut any crossers coming across, right? So, I mean, to me, I think this defensive check, cover 4 palms against open trips, is the moneymaker against this offensive formation for a variety of reasons. He run.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory.
That's fine, 3rd and 2. He's probably going to run again. But again, this under front shift is great for our linebacker. And then with the safety coming over, he can help out in the run as well against this run. So we may be weak against a weak side run, but generally when you have an offset back to the side, you don't get runs going this way, right? So we're playing probability and numbers. Probability of this receiver outside the screen getting the ball is close to, nothing compared to the rest of the players on the field. The probability of a run going this way is extremely low as well. So why have defenders overplaying in those particular areas when the ball's pretty much never going to go there anyway, right? The good thing too is, a lot of players probably won't understand that he has a one-on-one deal over here with that outside receiver. seeing this, double high shell look and me bringing this guy in. It's one of those things that they probably won't catch on for a while. But even when they do, it's not like it's the end of the world because again, it's you would have to be perfect with your throws and etc.
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. He lets this
See,
one fly toward the back of the end zone.
you see how hard of a throw that is? So let's go back. So you'll notice that this tight end, I believe he goes upfield, so this guy takes that route, and now he's free to do whatever he wants. I clicked off, and he snapped the ball before I can click back on. But watch this player, and you'll see he's free to roam. He actually does a pretty bad job. He could have overcut the crosser, but he doesn't. But it's still good to know, who's responsible for what based upon the route distribution of the offense while playing cover four palms against this formation.
They'll fake the give. Now
So right here, maybe this is where he's looking. He's running the crosser crap, right? That's what they always do. He's not real comfortable with out leveraged outside, out leveraged, right? So let me just throw this. But look how big of a throw he has to make here, right?
Stafford. He lets this.
And then our guy peels off. I think that's bullshit. So, I guess you guys can see I'm not really biased. I like real football. How in the fuck, and excuse my language, how is this player playing man-to-man running with this guy magically warps off the second the ball releases from, like, the quarterback, right? Maybe a half a second after he leave, and he wasn't even looking back at the, it's just not realistic, man.
That's this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball. He could not hang on. Second down coming up. So after the incompletion of
Look, we shift to an underfront.
first, now
Get our
second and
safety way
10.
over there. I don't know what I was doing there. So I guess the flip of the formation threw me off. So I'm kind of dumb. So what's my responsibility here? I should be reading 3 to 2. If 3 goes out, I take 2. If 3 goes up the field, I have to take 3 man to man. You have to know the responsibility of whatever player you pick while playing cover 4 palms. So I should be watching the number 3. And I switched off so I don't have to deal with it. I mean, it's pretty good run
5
defense.
yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. And now coming up on the drive.
Pretty good when it's 2nd and 10. At least it's 3rd and 5.
From the shotgun, here's a give to Akers. And
Good
a
defense
short gain
again.
there down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Okay, so here's where I finally figured it out. This is the optimal player to play. So again, X out theory. Our bubble is here. Your man-to-man if he goes out. And we get almost a double team on this player if he goes upfield. Right? You have a tight end double teamed against 2 defensive backs. If he goes inside, we moved our player inside to better defend that route. We should have moved him more over here. Oh, I see why I didn't, because it's 3rd and 10 and he almost has to throw it, right? So I left him up. So let's watch. So me as this player, the reason why I think playing this player is the most optimal player against this, all you have to do is get in the way of this number 3 and you reroute him so bad, and it helps out your safety when playing man-to-man against this player to get in better position and have better leverage on this player, right? And then after you disrupt his route so badly, you can be a football player and roam and look for crossers and look to help, right? He hot routed this guy. So I want you to watch me on this play. Hot routed him. Look how we just get in his way.
Now Staff.
Disrupt him pretty bad. Better help him on the route. We see he's cutting inside, so we can overplay that route and play it inside.
This is now Stafford. This is
So as you see, the tight end went upfield, so he pretty much got double teamed by these two players. You would like for them to play in and out bracket coverage. Madden doesn't have that coded in all the way correctly at all, but as you see, it was an interception. He had nowhere to go on this play. Let's look at the outside receiver that he hot routed to. So he hot routed this outside player to a curl, but I believe I pressed this player and he just didn't like it, you know. And you'll see as he runs up the field, it still looks a little murky because you can't tell if this is a deep half safety or not. You know, this defense is incredible, guys. Over 4 pounds against this formation.
This is intercepted.
So I'll leave it at that. So those are the two things. You switch when you're playing against open trips and you're playing a double high safety defense. You really want to switch to an underfront to better help against the run, to help shore up the run pass conflict with your Mike linebacker who has to relate to the number 3. And then number 2, I like to play, as far as what coverages to play, one of the coverages that I think you should really put into your arsenal when playing against open trips is the cover 4 palms check. As you see, the backside receiver is X'd out one-on-one. The reason why we're not afraid of one-on-one coverage there is because he's the least likely player to get the ball when playing in this formation. So you really don't need to push a lot of help out there, right? You can use that help in other areas of the field to defend that inside crossing routes, slants, etc. Cover for 4 palms is great for that. And then the third thing is to move your safety down inside the box. You actually help him out as well because you help him in helping defending the run to the strong side of the formation. And he's also in better position to defend against the tight end coming across the middle where he's supposed to cut him on routes. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you look forward to the next video.